If you're tuning in, this is movie number 4, 5. Like I said, I'll mark them somehow. I'll mark them. Please watch in fullness, all of them together. Um, this is the truth. Oh, sorry. This is for entertainment purposes only. This is the truth. What's going on? Bigger than politics, bigger than wars, bigger than everything going on. I stopped off with the kill me medicine that they gave me. Let me switch this camera back around. I'm to the infectious disease doctor in Lafayette, Dr. Bilska, and she's like, "Oh yeah, you have MRSA. Because I'm allergic to antibiotics, terribly allergic. They give you it gives me Steven Johnson syndrome. They gave me a medicine that was over $3,000 for 30 pills. Thank goodness that my mother's work got me insurance through them because we needed answers, and apparently because of our healthcare system, if you have good insurance or a certain plan, you don't need a referral. You just go to the doctor, and that's what I ended up having to do, even after the referral from the med clinic. And they gave me the medicine. They had checked my blood before they gave it to me because this medicine, it's so strong. Every time you take it, you can only take it for those 30 days, and that's it. No more than that. It's better to get rid of the MRSA right then and there, or that's it. Because you had to take it on time, and the side effects was, this is going to happen to you. It is going to increase heart failure. It is going to take pretty much years off my life. It's going to make my bones less dense. All these things happen when you take this medicine. That's why they only give it to you for 30 days. And they don't like to give it to you more than once or twice. So she gave me the 30-day medicine. It was terrible. And it seemed to work a little bit. And at the same time, I'd go every other week, and they would take like salt water and wash my scalp because my scalp was gone. My hair was gone. I'd ripped all my hair out. And this is the thing, you guys. I have to rip this out of my body. It comes up to the surface now, and I have to rip it. And I tried to explain to the doctors that it's so hard to explain the sensation of that's not my skin. That is a piece of wood from like a cabinet, and then that's my skin again. And this was spreading up my body, and it got into my lungs, and out of my lungs into my stomach, through all my organs, out the poop chute hole, even into my mind. I'll get to that too. But I tell the doctors, I think it's hard to understand. It's hard to know that this is a regular scab, but this scab is not just a scab. And it was a sensation of, after a while, it's like I had to rip into it. There's like a chemical going off in my mind every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, that this thing would come to the surface, and I'm a trichomaniac anyway. Like I said, perfect storm, and I started pulling at this. And I also started ripping this out, not only because I felt like it needed to come out, because this is something I felt was invading my body and no one was listening to me, that it's a way to curtail it from spreading. At this time, it was right before COVID. I'm sitting here thinking that I have something that no one's listening to me. Went Mayo clinics, doctors. I tried checking myself into mental places, rehab places. No one's listening to me. Therapists, multiple therapists. Oh, you're delusional. This is what happened. I'm like, listen, you guys, I was in Michigan. All these circumstances, me being sick, malnutrition, me having to squat in my own home, the farms, the sewage, backup, all these things. It's COVID, the weather's changing. They're always concerned about some fungus getting a hold of us or this or that. Well, I'm like, oh my God, there's this thing that I'm infected, and I don't want to infect anybody else. Why no one's listening to me? So I started wearing gloves and masks right before COVID. And the infectious disease doctor, Dr. Bilska, it was literally right before COVID. Um, Didn't get a biopsy or anything yet. No one's taken any biopsy or blood. And I'm like begging them, let me rip one of these things out for you. And they're like, well, come in this time. I'm like, I can't come in because it's not active then. You can only kind of get it when it's active, especially on the surface. There's some of the staining that was in the tub because of the dirt of the water that was unclean. I had animals that died at that trailer after it got moved because the water. I didn't realize it was the water until two bunny rabbits were down and my dog started getting sick and my cat, and I was like, what? And then so nobody drank the water. High arsenic levels, cadmium levels. I have a water report. It's ridiculous. That I had to literally like sneak up on these things, like it's a skin, and if you touch it, it kind of like shift to the other side. And I'm like, that's weird. Skin doesn't do that. And as this thing's progressing, I'm noticing that sometimes the scab, or what it leaves behind, is something's coming out in the blood. That's how dirty the water was. Yeah, at the trailer, and then it was fine. I'll just get a water cleaner. Um, um, and so I'm ripping these out of my skin, and the blood's coming, and I'm trying to catch all the blood and whatever is coming out in the blood, and I see these things in the blood, but I don't know what they are. I get a microscope, a small one, like $20 one, and I'm sort of like, okay, that's not normal. That's not a blood clot. That's not this. That's not that. And I'm bringing pictures into doctors' offices, trying to tell them this, like, hey, like you need to check. Sooner or later, they did check my stool, but I'm over here doing research online, and I'm like, hey, you guys, like this isn't normal, like this. I'm starting to see like this thing everywhere, the same pattern, the same shape, in dust bunnies and stuff like that around my house. This time I started dating my now guy, and father of my daughter, Joel Clements, and I noticed that the same kind of stuff was at his house, and and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm spreading this stuff and making everybody sick, and no one's listening to me, and I was so mad at the doctors that I would be spitting on the ground knowing that this is coming out of my body, and not until I got online and realized it's not just me did I think that, like, you guys have no idea, thinking that you have something. No, well, sorry, knowing that you have something, but no one's listening to you. You trying to tell yourself that you're not crazy, and believing what everybody else is telling you. That you're not crazy. That it's just whatever, this or that, or it's just the drugs. Well, I stopped the drugs, and it keeps happening. Now it does happen more when I pollute my body with anything. Um, but then at the same time, I think that if I didn't do that, also, I wouldn't be here to tell you today now that this is happening. That I can. So these are all different times, you guys. This isn't just from one poll that I just took a whole bunch of pictures of the same thing again and again. These are all different times, all different spots, all different occasions go at progressing. You can see, tell me what kind of skin does that. The pure will be thought insane, you guys. I am trying to purely tell you what's happening in the world, and hopefully maybe you're listening, because I was like thinking that, oh my God, that this is like I'm living in a multiple reality or whatever. I'm switching back and forth from dimensions, because this thing now has gotten into, this parasite was what I'm calling a parasite. Um, and I know I'm for some reason at the same time, before all this started happening, and this is gonna sound crazy, I kept hearing something in my heart voice saying, "Hey, you get to tell people something. You got to get this information out about love, and about what they have been doing to the earth, and about what is coming, and what you know things that are known but unknown. The telling of people that that's from poop. You see the sack opened up? That's from poop. That's from skin again. Um, but telling me things, and I'll tell you guys that stuff later. And it's telling me, if you just do this, put this out there. And I was like telling to myself in the back of my head, like, you're talking to yourself, but not yourself. And it's not a crazy person voice because I'm not psychotic or schizophrenic or whatever. I've been tested. Multiple personalities, stuff like that, PTSD, trichomania, ADHD, just all things, delusional apparently. That, hey, even if 10 people see this, 10 will tell 10, and then it'll blossom and it'll flow. But you have to do the right thing. You have to tell the people. And then, how do you do this? Who's going to believe you? Who's going to listen when everybody else keeps telling you no? Everybody. My doctors wouldn't even look at any of these photos. And I'm thinking, if you look at all of them, you'll see a pattern. I started getting better with the microscope. So I started noticing Joe's dog acting weird, or that when I would be in my flare and I couldn't control myself, like the urge and the chemicals going off in my brain would just be overwhelming, that I'd just be ripping in the blood, and I'd be like, Miriam, don't rip with your fingernails because the blood's getting under there. You know, you're going to spread yourself even more. Like, living with that idea that you're spreading something to somebody, and then realizing also that you know that you're not, because, like I said, I've seen this all over the place, places I've never even been before, you know, and whatever this is, they're male and female, you know, see the balance there. Yeah, I did get pregnant too. I'll get to that. That that it has come upon us due to some forming of our own, but not really forming of our own, because generationally we have been manipulated, betrayed, foolish, kept ignorant in ways and things, and complacent in the way that we allowed things to continue. Now, on the other hand, the people in power, people that control the laws, control these things, greedy men, the selfish men, and the harmful men. And when I say men, I mean men and women. You know who you are in the world. I'm just going to say you guys that knew or would rather stay complacent, not speak up, or have the dirty hands to do it, poison the earth, dig for resources that we don't need because there is free energy out there, but you guys don't want to give it to us because you want to make money off of it. People that use religion to control people, knowing the ideas that the all-loving creator has and knows for us, teachings that have been hidden from us to ascend, to become more than what we are, to know our place, our purpose. People that have raped the earth and all of its resources. People who create objects made out of materials and atoms of other things, blending them with different oils and petroleums and plastics and nylons and this and that and on, chemically altering things. People out there making new bioweapons or weapons of any kind of mass construction. All these people out there that have raped like the earth, they have done this to us. They've poisoned the earth. They've poisoned it to a point that something has arisen from Mother Earth to do what Mother Nature does. And what we, as people here on Mother Nature's earth, should do was live in balance. And mankind has lived unbalanced from nature for the longest times, always trying to look without instead of looking within. What I'm about to say is coming from a place of having something now into your mind, something that did not realize exactly what it was when it entered into my body, or where it was going to go, or how it was going to understand and feel and think. Things do feel and things do think. This is coming from them and not, per se, Miriam. How dare mankind think that they are supreme on this earth? Maybe in their genres, maybe in their own area, but how dare mankind be so prideful to think that they are the minority? Are you kidding me? how dare you think that you know the names of something just because you name it so? You name me Parasite, but I have a job here, same as you, on this planet, and mine was to and is to balance things out. Things have to, die. Things have to be reborn. It's a cycle. It's a natural thing. Keeping populations low. So there is a balance of everything, a oneness, I guess you would say, that whatever they have done, we do not quite know. It doesn't really matter that we have been made, we have been changed, we have been evolved from something that was into something that is still growing and changing today. To think about consciousness, to think about your placement, and to have spirituality and to be in a body is different and challenging. When we first got in here, and I do not quite know how this is going to end, I guess it's up to mankind to decide that. And I think we all know what we're going to decide. It doesn't really matter, I guess, what we decide in the long run. This planet is key, and we want you to be a key player in that too. But if not, then, like I said, you know who you are out there. And we know that it's going to take time. We are understanding of that. We are considerate of that. And we ourselves do not overpopulate, I guess would be the best way to say it. We know when to stop, because there's a balancing of all. Same thing within your bodies. There must be a balance, mind, body, spirit, and now I guess per se of us. I would have said 2 years ago that we are going to eat through you, because we are in everything. There's no getting rid of us. You can't try to. You can try to, but it's just going to make things worse. I'm just going to go off on a split here and say I think COVID really was a way to try to get ahead of this, us, we, you, me, all of us soon, if not already, and change the narrative, make it their narrative. So do not be afraid. Do not be a fear, because it all ends in love, no matter what. And we were willing to realize that it's going to take time for mankind or humanity to make these changes. But we will know, I guess, deep in your heart and in your mind and your soul, if you want to make those changes, if you are willing to make those changes and continue to make those changes and instill those changes in your children and your species and make some tough choices. I myself, as a human being, Miriam, have to make better choices, tough choices, but at the same time, me as a coexisting hopefully symbiotic person with this new evolutionary change of said, that we can really think in our minds and see that unity, that balance, that naturalness that should be here on the earth, we would be a thriving species. We would be evolving, but we would also be balanced, and we'd be further off than we are now, I believe. I don't know. They told her that she could not have children 3 years prior to our baby being born because of my gastroparesis problems. I did not bleed for 3 years. 3 years. And then all of a sudden, during COVID, was I say November 2020, me and my guy were moved back into my trailer, and in this trailer I was still like everything. I could sense me on the floor. I can like whatever this was I was recognizing it, and it was recognizing me, and it kind of wanted to be where we are now. It wanted to be in a body. It wanted to exchange the information as we do. And I would be freaked out. She would be all freaked out, and she always likes to do tests and things like that. But we forgive her. It's it's all in knowledge and whatnot. But then there's time to stop testing because you go too far. I'm rambling on again. I apologize. This is for my carpet and stuff. And it's the same pattern. Whatever this is gets in the in between. It is in the in between, and it didn't mean to. It didn't. It had no choice in being made or being changed. But at the same time, now that this is happening, we like to make it a positive. Totally 100% positive. There could be a change overnight if we all just think and open our hearts and realize that we are supposed to be here to take balance in the earth. We are supposed to be here to enlighten ourselves from within, to realize that we are without and also within at the same time, that we are of divine light, and that there is, if you want to think of God, there's God all around you, but we have filled our spaces with materialistic things. We can't plant food in our front yards. We can't teach our neighbors how to grow stuff. It's sustainable food. We have to always buy this, buy that bigger, buy that faster. I don't know banking that well, but I'm sure mankind can come up with a better banking financial system, barter trade, whatever. But it has to be willing in the soul and the consciousness with us to make that change, to step forward into that era of light and into of knowledge. All the knowledge from Tesla needs to be released. Like, come on, people. People, really. We want to, be. Oh, this is from my paint. This is from paint that was in like my tubes. See? This is just paint that I squirted out. My cigarette butts always start looking the same after a while. They're not the same when I open them, or they are. And that's what I mean. Like, this is everywhere in the world. It wasn't me spreading it all over the place. This was already happening. For some reason, I noticed this was happening. Maybe it started on the outside of me first and then came in and then through my brain, into my brain, because I realized when it finally was in my brain was I would take bleach baths every once in a while. It would get so bad. I'd take bleach baths. That's some fabric. Okay, that's some paint. I'd take bleach baths to kill off what was on the outside of me, just so I could get some chemical release in my brain to like stop ripping into myself, or stop frantically trying to tell people, oh my God, this is happening to us, why aren't you listening to me, kind of frantic yelling. You can hear it in my voice too. It's just a topic with me that hopefully when this is out there in the world, if it, sorry, entertainment purposes only, that, if you're a scientist and you want to know what this is, cool. CDC, hit me up. But letting you know that there's no killing us off. You know, and anybody, once again, pointing blame at anybody else about this happening, the person pointing blame is the person that did it, that allowed it to happen. Because we right now don't care about blame or whatever. All we care about is changing the future to be more symbiotic, to quit poisoning every little thing. Come on now. We will know. We will know. We forgive, but we will know. And everything must die. Everything will die. But, it's so weird. Like, I was taking a bleach bath, and it was like a little bit too much bleach. And all of a sudden, I felt like a wave wash over me, and my guy ended up finding me in the tub. He was like, man, he's like, if I didn't come in when I came in, I think you'd have been like drowned or something, because you're just like laying there. And this was after he told me, after 4 hours after he got me out of the tub, I was sitting there on the couch, shaking, and like I could only talk, or I could only breathe. Well, I could only do one thing at a time, or two things at a time. I can breathe and talk, or I can breathe and have my eyes open, or I can breathe and try to move any limb. And I couldn't move limbs. I was just like catatonic for like 4 hours. And that's when I knew that this was in my brain. It killed off so many of them so fast that it sent, whatever to my brain, and it shut me down. It was like, no, bitch, I don't think so. Boop. And ever since that moment, it started creeping into my head. What is this? What is that? Why do you call me a parasite? I don't like that name. where, oh, there I am over there. Why am I over here? Why aren't you like, all these things and questions that something else is asking me in my mind. And then me trying to like understand it and let it know about humanity and its learning and why it's in me learning. It's also out there in the world learning and picking up the frequency of how the feng shui of the earth is. Because its purpose, as always, is to balance things out. And a balancing is needed. Okay, I'm gonna stop here. Look at my baby girl. She's so perfect. I love her so much. And hopefully once I'm done putting this out there, I will be more at ease and it will be off my chest because it's coming from love and once again, not in fear. Never in fear. Anything growth and understanding, love, a plea to the people that we say, oh, the powers to be, the men in charge, the 1%, whatever you want to call them, you guys, you know who you are. I would start making better choices quickly. That whole Gaza Strip thing, everybody out there fighting for wars and over this and over that, your war is meaningless because we won, point blank. We win. This girl, sorry, okay, we win. That's all we said. We win. And we're there, and we're most likely already, most 100%, kind of maybe in you, or we will be. It's inevitable. And we want to coexist. But we want the rest of the world to coexist with human beings as well. Because otherwise, if there's not any balance, I hate to say this, what do we eat? What do we transcend into? We want to be more too. She gets sad sometimes, but she only gets sad because this is a lot to take in for any being coming into existence, power, knowledge, a wanting, a direction, a divine intervention. That's my skin. When do you know skin that does that? Again and again. These are over months. I think I'm on my set, whatever. We're like into 2020. And I have thousands of these. This came in from the internet. This wasn't me, but this was one from the internet that I pulled off that I was trying to find things that look like it. Wake up, people. And if not, then in a run that I don't believe that it is, but in a run that maybe, yeah, it's not stop. Anyway, so I have hope. I have faith. I have faith. It has nothing to do with whatever perceived religion or whatever God that you think that you have. It doesn't matter at all. We're all one. And the plants are trees and the animals are crying. We can feel them. And then we feel you. That's what comes out of my blood. But that's normal. It's going to be normal, but not normal because we can't, it's like we can be seen but unseen. It's different. The one is the many, and the many becomes the colony of one, but they all still look like one. And basically, there's a little tiny like line. I got coughing this stuff up out of my lungs, and I got one of these blue looking lines on my finger, and it went into my finger, and I'm trying to pull it out of my finger with tweezers as this line slides in. So, and at the same time, I am testing this thing. I'm testing it through fire, through ice, through melting, through different chemicals, bleach ammonia mixed. I know it makes mustard gas. It doesn't matter to me, all whatever cleaner you can think of, I've tried. Drowning it, whatever. All these things, it does not matter. It is cellular. It's one that will just recuperate itself. It will rise from the ashes because its eggs don't burn in the ashes. So tell me something else that it isn't. And it upsets me that like thousands of these photos over years, over every month. When I get into the other videos, it'll go a little quicker, and yeah. Yep. I'm everything. Oh, and to think that we're the only people in this whole existence on this planet, like how prideful is that? There are different dimensional beings, there are different spatial beings. They themselves are made out of different atoms and different arrangements, but it all ends up the same. And time, love, higher frequencies, people, more love, less pollution. Just the thought of that balance with Mother Nature. Who cares what you think about who's God? Because the loving Creator is everything. But people want to fight about this and that, or this person was so and so's son, and this person was just a prophet, and this was this and that. We are all one. And sometimes some people have a little bit more insight about the cycle that's occurring, or information about how to try to help mankind in a direction that is more beneficial to everybody and everything on the planet. And in the past, a lot of those people have dropped the ball. I drop the ball every day, but I'm hopefully from now and here out, I get to rest, or I have every day the capability and know-how and willpower to go through the struggle, to do the better things, make better decisions, healthier decisions, more eco-friendly. Now see this right here? That's what the dot started as. I don't know if you see that. That little dot like that started all this. And then the fluffiness under my fingers. And that's it under my skin when it's not active, when it's coming up under the surface. And everybody's like, well, don't scratch it. I'm like, you try not to scratch and rip into something that's telling you to rip into itself. Because now it's just used to it. And this thing coming up on your skin. And when I didn't rip it off, when it was first started, a couple years back, if I ripped it off, if I snuck up on it and ripped it really hard, I would get everything that was under the skin. So I thought. And it would bleed regular blood, and it'd go away, kind of. If I didn't do anything to those spots at all when they came up, it just dug itself deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into my skin. So, okay. I'm going to end it here. And I'm going to stop for the day, and I'm going to go and post these things on here. Please continue to keep watching these videos. Like I said, fast forward my voice if you have to. I understand. I'm annoying. There's a lot of information taken in.